Hello and welcome to our audio slideshow on funding for the Empowerment Project. My name is Scott, and I'm part of a team of researchers at the Center for AIDS Prevention Studies who developed the Empowerment Project. In our original research, we found the Empowerment Project reduced rates of unprotected anal sex among young gay and bisexual men in a number of different cities. More recently, in our research with 72 agencies across the country implementing the Empowerment Project, we saw firsthand how the project can be adapted to work well with African American MSM, Latino MSM, MSM outside the original 18 to 29-year-old age group, and MSM in rural areas as well as in large urban settings. We are excited to pass on what we learned from these projects. This slideshow will begin to address several issues related to funding the Empowerment Project, such as resource requirements for empowerment, setting goals and objectives for empowerment when funding is less than ideal, and the importance of process-related measures over outcome-related measures for evaluation purposes. Adequate funding for empowerment is important. More than 1/3 of the 72 agencies we talked to were attempting to implement the Empowerment Project with less than $50,000 per year. In many instances, agencies have opted for partial implementation of the Empowerment Project. For example, among the core elements of empowerment, sometimes the project space is eliminated, or there isn't enough money for social outreach events, or there's only enough money to fund one part-time coordinator. However, we've seen that agencies attempting to achieve a successful implementation of the Empowerment Project with an annual budget of less than $50,000 a year face staggering challenges. You'll need enough money to recruit, hire, train, and maintain skilled staff, secure, furnish, and maintain an appropriate project space, coordinate and encourage core group and other volunteer efforts, conduct publicity and create outreach materials, as well as sponsor engaging social outreach events. Adequate funding is needed to staff the intervention. We recommend that at least one full-time equivalent, or FTE, work on the project, with preference given to 1.5 to 2 FTE. Because the Empowerment Project is a multi-level project that focuses on addressing individual variables, interpersonal variables, as well as community variables, there's a lot to get done, way more than can be done in just 20 hours a week. Because there's so much to do, money will be needed to staff the project appropriately. Because the Empowerment Project has been empirically tested and shown to be effective, we think it's important that the program be implemented with fidelity. All of the core elements were designed to work synergistically and relate to each other in important ways, and individual core elements don't work so well when separated from the other core elements. If core elements aren't being implemented, it's less likely that the intervention will be a success. Therefore, a successful empowerment project, in addition to a minimum 1 FTE on staff, will need enough money for a project space. If it's not possible to fund a standalone project space, a suitable space where men can gather that is safe and accessible still needs to be thought out. For example, Adam and Steve in Anchorage, Alaska shared a space with the Gay and Lesbian Community Center, which they used mainly to hold core group meetings. A successful empowerment project will need resources for publicity. Resources set aside for advertising and the creation of outreach materials is necessary in order to get the word out about the project and diffuse safer sex messages throughout the community. The best events in the world are doomed if no one knows they are happening. A successful empowerment project will need resources for social outreach events. It's imperative that there be enough money in the budget for the core group and coordinators to create engaging social outreach events that attract new guys to the project, disperse safer sex messaging, and facilitate recruitment to the M groups. I'll talk more about the importance of social outreach events in a minute. Finally, a successful empowerment project will need resources for outreach. Outreach can take many forms, including group costumed outreach and outreach performances. It's important that money be available for the coordinators and the core group so that they can buy materials and develop props to make outreach dynamic and eye-catching. There are sample budgets in the Empowerment Project Manual on empowerment.org. The sample budgets show cost projections for staffing scenarios with 1 FTE all the way up to 2.5 FTE. A copy of the sample budgets can be found in Module 3 implementing agency on empowerment.org. Making sure there are enough resources to create social outreach events is extremely important because that's how you'll attract guys into the project, disperse safer sex messaging, recruit for core group, as well as recruit for M groups. In our interviews and observations, we've heard that sometimes it makes funders nervous when social outreach events aren't directly about HIV, AIDS, or other health-related topics. There's a fear that not enough HIV prevention takes place when a social outreach event is fun and actually social. This is understandable, and it's important for core group members and coordinators to carefully consider how HIV prevention is woven into each event. However, social outreach events that are solely about HIV or other health-related issues, like a Hep C party, a health fair, or HIV testing day event, are not likely to attract a wide variety of men. Remember, social outreach events are really important because without them, it's very difficult to recruit guys to the M groups or reach a wide variety of guys with prevention messages. Because young gay and bisexual men are motivated more by social concerns than by concerns about HIV or AIDS, providing adequate resources for social outreach events really helps create venues where prevention messages are dispersed and a community-wide norm supporting safer sex can be established. Adequate financial and institutional support for the social outreach events is really important. In our research, we've sometimes seen contracts where the M groups, originally designed as a one-time, 3-hour skills-building session for a small group of 8 to 12 young gay men, are given the most attention. While it's true that the M groups are extremely important because they provide the largest dose of HIV prevention, it is just one part of an integrated program that tries to change behavior. Remember, the Empowerment Project is a community-level intervention designed to reach the entire community. As such, all the core elements need to be in place in order for the intervention to achieve significant reach. If one focuses on only the M groups, the intervention can morph into a group-level intervention and abandon its community-level roots. Since conducting all the core elements is so important, process evaluations that describe how the core elements are implemented are actually preferable to outcome evaluations for the Empowerment Project. Again, because the Empowerment Project has been empirically tested and shown to be effective, it's better to assess whether or not all of the core elements are being implemented with fidelity to the original design. Process evaluation questions might ask, what event took place? When did it happen? Who attended? Or, as important, who didn't attend? What publicity was done for the event? And what was the HIV prevention message? These are all good examples of process-related evaluation questions. In previous research, we found that many CBOs have a hard time conducting outcome evaluations, but that many CBOs are able to conduct process evaluations that describe when something happened and what took place. In addition, we've heard from many agencies that sharing the stories of their projects with their funders is also helpful. CBOs feel that providing stories adds context to the numbers and helps the funder understand the work that they're doing and can help pinpoint areas to work on. We've observed that it's essential to have open and honest dialogue between Empowerment Project staff and the funder. Sometimes this can be hard if agency staff fear that they'll be punished in some way because they're having trouble making their numbers. In order to pinpoint issues, find solutions, and amend expectations, honest dialogue is crucial. Open communication can also help establish an environment of feedback and accountability. We found in our research that when there wasn't accountability, fidelity suffered. It's important to set realistic goals for the project that are appropriately based on the funding level. At UCSF, we were able to achieve significant outcomes by fully funding the project. Programs with lower funding levels may not be able to achieve the same results in a short time period, so project objectives need to be altered accordingly. And keep in mind that a successful implementation of the Empowerment Project takes time. It's not realistic to expect strong numbers out of an Empowerment Project 4 months into a funding cycle. It takes time to find and hire the right staff, get them trained, locate a project space, build up a core group, plan social outreach events, create publicity, conduct M groups, and reflect on what is or is not working in order to make it better. For more information about the Empowerment Project, please refer to the Empowerment Project manual at empowerment.org, or call one of our Empowerment Project technical assistance specialists. In the past, our technical assistance specialists have participated in conference calls and three-way calls with funders such as state health department personnel. Our team can also help with grant writing and the establishment of realistic goals and objectives. So go ahead, give them a call. They would love to hear from you. Cheers and good luck.